let's talk about Paraguay, Chuck, because this team under Argentine manager Gustavo Alfaro have been excellent over the last 13 months. Now, when he took over, they didn't look like they were going to qualify. They haven't been in the World Cup since 2010, so it's been a while. And he comes in, and he started taking scalps. He took down Brazil. He beat Argentina. They had 5 wins, 5 draws, and 1 loss. They lost to Brazil 1-0, but they ended up qualifying for the World Cup. They ended up finishing 6th in CONMEBOL, and now they're back in. And what's interesting about them is that they are low scoring and everything's tight. So they only scored 14 goals in 18 qualifiers, but they only gave up 10. So they are absolutely beasts to break down.
So we're playing another Ecuador defensively.
What's interesting is that Gustavo Alfaro was the manager of Ecuador in the 2022 World Cup. But then he went to Costa Rica and then he came back. What I do appreciate about him is that he's got a rich history of like helping teams, Arsenal de Sarandi, Quilmes, Tigre, of getting them out of relegation zones in Argentina. He also managed Boca Juniors. Like the guy's got a CV that's just crazy. Helping favorites stay favorites, helping underdogs punch their ticket to World Cups like he's doing with Paraguay. And they are going to be very difficult. They're one of those teams, Chuck, just so I want to emphasize this for everybody watching or listening. You do not want to play this type of team in the World Cup. And so this is going to be an excellent opportunity for us to learn how to manage these types of games where they're going to come at you. They're going to be very hard to break down. And yes, I guess Ecuador, who we just played and played well against, they're going to be very similar. And this is where I think Mauricio Pochettino's, because of his South American background, will kind of know what we're running into in a much more meaningful way. So I appreciate that we have both of these opponents, Paraguay and Uruguay. But they have Miguel Almiron, plays for Atlanta United, Julio Enciso, who's a Chelsea guy, who's playing at Strasbourg in France right now. But
Andres Cubas, who played at Vancouver, Diego Gomez, who played at Inter Miami.
That's right.
So there's a number of familiar players, especially within, the MLS bubble. They've gone on or they've come back. This is going to be one of those tests where we should beat them. When we have a full strength lineup, we should beat them. This is a team that if you want to make the noise that we're talking about at a World Cup, you need to beat a team like Paraguay. I'm sorry. And I know you said, hey, you don't want to play them. No, I'd rather play a Paraguay than a France or an England, right? Or a Portugal or a Spain or Germany. So you can go down the list. So this is a team that you need to be able to beat if we're talking about the impact we'd want to see next summer. So it's a great test for this group.
Okay, so Gustavo Alfaro said this: I don't want to go to the World Cup just to participate. I want to go to compete for the maximum. And what's interesting when I look at the standings of CONMEBOL, where they qualified in South America, Argentina was clear. They finished on 38 points. Ecuador, 29 points. Colombia, 28. Uruguay, 28. Brazil, 28 points. Paraguay, 28 points. I mean, that's how close that was, or at least how tight it was in that kind of middle group. So they were cutting their teeth and got some results against some big-time opponents. And I think they have a real nice belief under Gustavo Alfaro. And that's obviously something that we're chasing, Chuck, that we're chasing as well with this particular group of players. Can we get that buy-in? Can we all be playing for something bigger than us? And like I mentioned before, I don't think that's going to be a problem as the World Cup gets closer. Obviously, we're just trying to find our team. But this is going to be a team that, and from what I understand, obviously we're missing a lot of key players in this one, Chuck. But Paraguay isn't. Like we're going to be running into most of their starters.
But this is a big challenge, great test. If you're telling me that a number of our starters or key players are missing in this camp, and now you're playing against the Paraguay side who's tested, who is resilient, who've done a terrific job, like you said, of beating some big opponents, and they have most of their guys. If you ever want to prove that you can make a difference for the U.S. in a World Cup, it's showing up in this game.
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
No, you're right. You're right.
Friendlies. This is an audition for a lot of players, whether it's to be a starter, whether it's to be a substitute, or whether it's just to make the squad. Everyone's competing for something. And for me, if Austin Trusty got a look, there's no turning back now. This is your opportunity. If you don't succeed in this camp, most likely for a lot of these guys, even if they're playing at their club, which a lot of them are, you're not going to be seen as somebody that Pochettino can trust. A guy like Gio Reyna, it probably doesn't get better because this opportunity wouldn't have come to him if everyone else was healthy, right? So I'm going to be really curious to see how this goes.
All right, before we introduce our special guest that'll be joining us, we had another special guest who joined us earlier today, Austin Trusty, center back for Celtic and the U.S. Men's National Team and a Philadelphia Union homegrown. Very, very cool story. He joined us, and that'll be dropping on our Golasso America YouTube channel later today. So go over there and check it out. Turn on your notifications so you do not miss it right when it drops. All right, let's welcome back in our special guest to the show, Tony Meola. Big Tones, welcome back. Hey, great to see you.
Man, telling you what, that was a cruel joke before. I wasn't on mute. It was someone in the back that had me on mute. I was watching it. But you guys do a great show, man. I was listening to the whole thing. You guys are awesome, man. I'm so happy. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great. So Tones, a serious question. Well, semi-serious because we're always having fun here. But what do you think fans should expect when we go up against the Paraguay team? Obviously, we're not going to have all of our top dogs, but we're going to be competitive. But this Paraguay team is excellent, and they've got a clear identity of how they want to play under Gustavo Alfaro.
Yeah, I heard Charlie say they're going to be another Ecuador, right? I mean, that's who they are, and that's how they had to get through qualifying, right? You look at their qualifying results, and it's you don't see high-scoring games, right? You had to win 1-0. You had a couple draws along the way. Weren't very many twos in those games, right? So that's what you're gonna be dealt with. But I'm with Charlie. The expectation for this one, Uruguay, different proposition, right? But the expectation is there are some guys, you mentioned Austin Trusty, you guys mentioned Claudio Reyna. There are some guys that have like a real opportunity. And I would imagine if we're on that coaching staff, if it's the three of us and we're looking at this and we get guys that are playing at their clubs but come here and don't perform against the likes of a Paraguay, then you start to question if they're worth something to you at this World Cup coming up, right? With all with the lack of opportunities, if you will, that there are between now and June of 26. So this is an important chance for a few players like the Joe Scalli's of the world, the guys that have kind of been the outside looking in. This is really, really important for the other guys. I'm going to throw Serginho Dest into that conversation too, because I don't know that Pochettino is completely sold yet on Serginho Dest, right? I get the sense that I don't have any idea. I'm just looking at how he plays him, when he's used him, when he's been available. Of course, he was hurt for a long time. I don't know that Pochettino and his staff have a full sort of resume yet for them on Serginho Dest. So I'll throw him into that category. For other guys, you're just hoping, if you're a national team manager, you're just hoping that the thoughts you had coming into this camp, you leave them knowing that, okay, I've trusted Diego Luna, I think, has played the most games, right, under Pochettino so far. I've trusted Diego Luna. I want to continue to trust him after that. So guys like that, that's their mission. Matt Freese is one of those guys. He's our guy, so I want to trust him again. That's if I'm a fan, that's what I'm looking at and expecting in this camp.
Yeah, I agree. Those are great thoughts. Max Arston jumps to mind too as another player who's been trusted a lot, and can he maintain that trust? I know you're sad. We've come to the end of the video. But if you want more average to good content from your favorite former U.S. Men's National Team players, this is the channel to make it happen. Go look at our other videos. Go look at our playlists. And if you want more of the content, the best way to make that happen is to hit like, hit subscribe, and then turn on all of your notifications so that you do not miss anything that we drop or when we go live or whatever it may be. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.